October, Saturday. When I woke up today, I could tell something was off. First, I'd usually hear Roderick's band practicing or Manny throwing a fit downstairs, but the house was dead silent. Second, the sun was red and the sky was orange. I thought that was pretty weird, but it wouldn't interrupt my Twisted Wisdom marathon at least. That's what I thought. Damn, it's hot, guys. I went downstairs for a quick breakfast, thinking I'd run into someone on the way. But nope. Mom, Dad, Roderick, and even see Manny. I made a bowl of cereal and went to watch some cartoons on TV, but the TV wouldn't turn on. I checked to see if it was plugged in, and it was. So I had no idea why it wasn't turning on. In fact, it seemed like the entire house didn't have electricity. Nothing was working. I figured Manny must have messed with the fuse box again, so I went down to the basement to investigate. When I opened the door, though, I was tackled to the ground. It was Roderick. When he saw it was just me, he got up and apologized. I told him to explain himself, and he did just that. Roderick woke up to loud thumps from the first floor. He thought it was his band coming over for practice, so he went upstairs as fast as he could. But it wasn't his band. It was a monster. He watched as the monster went into the first floor bathroom, followed by a flushing sound. He was so scared that he decided to hide out in the basement until he was sure it left. He looked real shaken up. I asked Roderick to describe what the monster looked like, and instead of saying anything, he grabbed a piece of paper and a pen and drew it instead. My goodness. I told him the monster was gone by now, so we had nothing to worry about. We looked around the rest of the house, but we couldn't find Mom, Dad, or Manny. As for the red sun, neither of us could explain it, but we figured it'd be best to stay inside for now. With the electricity out, I only had books to keep me busy. Sunday. I didn't get much sleep last night. When the sun set, suddenly everything was working again. Phones, radio, the TV, we even had the internet back. Roderick says the red sun must have been interfering with all those signals like in the movies. We turned on the TV to see what was on the news, but we didn't find anything. All of the major news channels were dead. I called Riley to see if he was okay. I was relieved when he picked up. When he woke up, he couldn't find his parents anywhere, and when he tried to go outside, he got burned. So he stayed inside all day. Nothing was working inside his house either. At least it's not just us. I asked him if he wanted to stay over with me and Roderick, and he said he'd be over in a few minutes with his stuff. I asked Roderick what we should do, and he said until we know more, we should stay here and fortify it. It might blow over in a few days after all, so we shouldn't get crazy yet. When Rowley came over, he said that he heard noises coming from the woods, like a big animal was walking around. We told him about the monster Roderick saw, and that terrified Rowley for the rest of the night. We spent all night fortifying the house and gathering anything we could use as a weapon. We worked late into the night, and when we finished, no one felt like going to sleep. We just stayed up watching Star Wars movies. It was nice, pretending everything was normal for a few hours. When the sun came up, everything stopped working. Roderick hit the nail on the head with his theory. We weren't sure what to do. We couldn't go outside and nothing was working, so me and Rowley played board games in the basement. Roderick was sleeping. He was tired from them doing most of the work last night. We can't live like this forever. Eventually, we will at least need to get more food. I tried to put on a brave face for Rowley's sake, but I'm not the only one thinking this. I think Roderick is having similar thoughts. He's just acting for me and Rowley. Even Rowley must have had this cross his mind. He's pretty dim, but even he's not that stupid. I'll think about it later. Monday. A lot has happened over the last few hours when the sun set. We decided to get some fresh air. We didn't stay out there for long though. Riley started to get scared, so we had to go back in. About half an hour later, there was a knock at the door, and Roderick told me to go answer it. I opened the door and got a face full of Fregley. "Hello, friend?" He said he was over here to check on us. With the current situation, his mom was getting worried that the neighbors might be in trouble. He also brought over some home-cooked food his mom made for us, which was the only actual food we have had for 2 days. None of us can cook. That's why you guys need to learn how to cook, bro. Cooking is a life skill that y'all need, bro. Roderick asked if he or his mom needed anything, just to be polite, but Fergie said they were fine for now. I was surprised how normal Fergie was acting. I guess the whole situation scared him straight. When he left, I saw Roderick take out a piece of paper and write something on it, but he wouldn't let me see it. If I had to guess, there was a list of people to avoid. If I was making that list, I put Fregley on it too. Damn, bro. Like, justice for my boy Fregley, bro. He's just being nice. Tuesday. Here's everything we know about the situation. There are monsters roaming around, sometimes in the woods and sometimes in people's houses. There aren't a lot of monsters though, or we would have encountered another one by now. The sun is red. When the sun is up, don't go outside or you'll get burned. We're not sure if the sun can kill you though. During the day, all electronics are useless. Radio signals, cell service, internet, the power, all of it's down. The water and plumbing still work, and electronics with batteries are still usable, like a phone you charged the night before. During the night time, everything goes back on, but the police are unresponsive and the internet is so slow that it's more frustrating than helpful. Everything else works fine though. There's more we don't know. We know almost nothing about the monsters, but one thing at a time. I found an old comic from my first year of middle school. It was my original Creighton, the Creighton comic. It's weird to think that was nearly 4 years ago. Creighton the Cretin by Greg Heffley. Hi, my name's Creighton. No, it's not. Your name is Stuart Pid. Apes? Hi, I'm stupid. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I used to laugh at these back in the day. I started looking around for other comics. I made so I could put them together in a folder. I'm still pretty proud of my old stuff. End of chapter 1. It's pretty good so far.